Hi, this is Brad with Vintage Camper Rescue, and this is the Friday shop update on the 62 Aristocrat. So this was frame week for us. So we spent the week getting this frame all the way down to the bare metal. We had it just ground down. All the rust was treated, and now it's been painted and retreated for rust and UV exposure. So this frame should go another 60 years or so. It was actually in really good shape, so not too many things to worry about on this guy. It's going to have the vintage hitch on it still. I just need to get a new spring in there so it'll spring back. But it's going to clean up real nice. Little upgrade we're going to do when we start putting this back together next week is the original had this fiberboard backing underneath. It was what was between the frame and then the floor structure. So we're getting rid of that nasty stuff because it absorbs water and moisture and holds it. So we're actually going to put solid aluminum anyway, metal aluminum underneath this thing. Most of the trailers that I ever built have had an aluminum base, and then the floor goes on top of that, so it'll be more or less waterproof at that point and insulated and good to go. All right, so there's the frame. The axle cleaned up super nice. Springs have been lubed, everything's cleaned up. The brakes, they're all covered now, but brakes were all cleaned up. All the actions and magnetic braking portions were checked, so it's working fine. Going to clean the hubs and get wheel bearings in and get this axle on probably tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to take the weekend and play. All right, so we're kind of at the point where we're looking at some choices already for color palettes, believe it or not. Good news is the tires, these tires have the 3 nubs on them, so vintage the moon style hubcaps will fit perfectly on this. I can get those from Vintage Trailer Supply, so we'll have that silver moon hubcap look to it, and then the outside can be painted either white, black, or whatever accent color, if any, is chosen for the camper. So as far as matching up with these walls, look how they built these walls. So these walls are getting rebuilt, and they're going to be, I would say, better than factory. I don't know what's going on here, but this was behind the kitchen, so you didn't see it. But it's just, I don't know, I'm going to do it and do it better. But the original, I thought the original was white, but I pulled off hardware, and the original color was this kind of yellow, oaky sort of color. So that's what we're going to try and do, is get a match between this original sort of almost natural birch wood look, and it looks like it has oxidized itself to be more of this white color. So it's not going to be whitewashed because we want to see the grain, so I don't plan to paint the trailer white, otherwise we'd lose all the grain. So I'm thinking maybe like a milk style paint where it's a light coat, and then you still see all the beautiful grain of the wood that comes through, and that'll be for the entire trailer, as you mentioned. So and all the windows will still have that chrome trim that was original to it, so it'll really, even though it's kind of monochromatic, it'll have this pop of chrome all throughout the camper wherever there's an opening or a window, which is super awesome. The hardware, let me go over to the hardware table here. Hardware is this kind of cool gold, so I'm just going to clean these up and probably just respray them with this gold color so they stay original. If you prefer those to be black, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just clean them up and just try and get this nice gold colored look to it. And so this is that sort of weathered kind of milk paint look, so we'll get this all matched up. Okay, so as far as colors go, this is the tabletop, one of the 2 drop-down tabletops. It's got some grays and whites in there. This is probably one of the coolest patterns I think I've ever seen. So I'm so happy to see that these things survived and literally just wiped it down. And these are the original cushions. Not a single tear, no stain. We're gonna take these off and get them dry cleaned, and you really don't even see sun fading on these things, so it's unbelievable. I think it's just the way the windows were set up in this camper. Maybe they weren't exposed to light, but both cushions look factory new. But it's just kind of just grayish, black pattern, which goes very well with the original countertops. So there's your kind of color palettes for your stuff there to look at. And as far as you were talking about wanting to get some paint colors, this is kind of that vintage teal look. I think you saw this on the Aloha that I put together. Teal. I misspelled the word teal. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. Anyway, let's skip that. Vintage teal look. This is, let me get some better light. If you watch the videos on the, there we go. That's a little bit better. So that's more of the natural light kind of look against the white there. That can be done as an accent color. I think you showed me a picture of like a swoosh type pattern. That shouldn't be an issue. It's kind of like what that is in the back there. It's just taping off the pattern and then, you know, painting it in there. So, or you were talking about maybe doing like a full like half, like bottom half is the color and the top half is white. So that'd be, you know, just, you know, the bottom half painted right to the lip, and then the top would be white. So we can just talk about that. We're not there yet. We're weeks away from that, but just something to start thinking about as you're looking at different flooring choices. And I'll send you a link out for some ideas for flooring. Best rule is, you know, keep it simple, because you don't see a lot of the floor in these campers. You just pretty much just see the doorway when you walk in and a little bit in there. So, you know, just keep it simple and, you know, nothing too crazy on the patterns, and I think people will be happy with that. All right, so this is the Friday shop update, and next week's plan is to get the wheels and the deck built. So it'll be, the deck will be on, the floor will be on, but not the flooring, of course. And then we start building walls. So I expect the wall and roof construction to take about 2 weeks or so. And then, so in the next couple weeks, we'll have to decide on, you know, nail down some colors and stuff. All right. Well, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.